The first time I saw her, she was suspended in a lattice of living light. The prison floated in orbit around a dying star, a red giant whose surface boiled like a wounded god. Our mining vessel, Arden, had been contracted to strip the outer debris ring for rare isotopes before the star collapsed into a white dwarf. It was routine, dangerous work. Radiation storms, gravitational shear, debris fields. It paid well because most crews didn't come back whole. I was the only human aboard. The rest of the crew were Varelians, tall, silver-skinned beings whose neural architecture let them process stellar data faster than any human mind. I was there because humans were good at improvising when machines failed, and because I had experience with unstable gravitational zones. But nothing in my experience prepared me for what we found drifting beyond the debris belt. Unregistered construct, Captain Sareth announced through the neural comms. His voice always sounded like wind moving through glass. Energy signature, non-mechanical. I leaned forward in my harness and adjusted the optical filters. And then I saw her. Inside a spherical cage of shifting luminescent strands was a figure, humanoid, but not Varelian. She glowed faintly, as if the star's light bent toward her instead of away. Her skin shimmered with deep blue iridescence. White hair floated around her face like a halo in zero gravity. Her eyes were closed. "She's alive," I whispered. Sareth turned his elongated head toward me. "Impossible. That structure predates our scans by millennia." The sphere pulsed. The strands tightened. And her eyes opened. They were gold, bright and aware and afraid. In that instant, I knew something none of the others did. She wasn't a relic. She was a prisoner. The forbidden truth. We brought the sphere into the cargo bay under heavy containment. The Varelians argued in quiet telepathic bursts. I couldn't hear their thoughts, but I saw their posture. Rigid, wary. "This is not our concern," Sareth finally said aloud for my benefit. "We extract isotopes. We do not interfere with unknown species." "She's not a specimen," I snapped. "She's a person." Sareth's luminous eyes narrowed. "Your emotional response is clouding reason, human Adrian." Maybe it was. But when the containment clamps locked around the glowing sphere and the cargo bay dimmed to stabilize radiation levels, she turned her gaze directly to me. Not to Sareth. Not to the others. To me. And somehow, without sound, I heard her. "You can hear me, can't you?" I staggered back. "Yes," I breathed. The Varelians exchanged sharp glances. "You established communication?" Sareth demanded. I think so." Her voice wasn't sound. It was pressure behind my thoughts. "They cannot free me," she said gently. "Only you can." "Why?" I whispered. "Because you are human." The secret of the lattice. Over the next hour, she told me her name was Lyri. Her species, the Ethrin, had once been guardians of stellar evolution. They could manipulate gravitational flows and stabilize collapsing stars. But power invites fear. A coalition of advanced civilizations had betrayed the Ethrin, fearing their ability to reshape galaxies. Lyri had been captured and bound in a living energy matrix, an organic prison designed to respond to neural wavelengths. "The lattice reacts to intention," I explained to Sareth after relaying what I could. "It's keyed to non-human neural frequencies. The more advanced the mind, the tighter it binds." Sareth studied the glowing prison. "Then why does it not tighten against you?" I swallowed. "Because human neural patterns are chaotic. We're less synchronized, less evolved." Lyri's voice brushed mine. "Not less. Different. The lattice cannot predict you." The Varelians attempted to interface with the sphere using harmonic resonance tools. Each time, the strands constricted violently, emitting bursts of lethal radiation. One technician nearly lost an arm before retreating. She will detonate if forced, Sareth concluded. This is a weapon. No, I said. It's a lock. And I'm the key. Silence filled the cargo bay. Grant me EVA access, I said. Let me enter the lattice manually. Sareth recoiled. You will be disintegrated. Maybe. But she's been trapped for thousands of years. I looked at Lyrie. She was watching me with a mixture of hope and something deeper, something fragile. Let me try. Entering the prison, they sealed me in an adaptive radiation suit and depressurized the bay. The sphere hovered before me, humming like a living star. As I drifted closer, the strands of light shifted, reacting, but not tightening. They shimmered curiously. Do not be afraid, Lyrie whispered. I'm terrified, I muttered. Humans do things scared all the time. I extended a gloved hand. The moment I touched the lattice, the universe vanished. I wasn't in the cargo bay anymore. I was standing on fractured ground beneath a black sky streaked with dying suns. Chains of light wrapped around Lyrie's wrists and throat, anchoring her to an invisible gravity well. This is the lattice's psychic interface, she said aloud now, her voice like music under thunder. It tests intention. The chains flared, sensing me. What do I do? You must choose. The ground trembled. Images flooded the sky, civilizations burning, stars collapsing, galaxies torn apart. They fear what I can do, Lyrie said. The lattice feeds on that fear. If you believe I am a threat, it will bind me forever. The chains tightened around her throat. I don't, I said immediately. The tremor paused. You don't know me, she whispered. I know what it's like to be judged for what you might become. The sky shifted again, now showing Earth. Wars. Nuclear fire. Humanity's worst moments. You are capable of destruction, the lattice intoned in a voice that wasn't Lyrie's. So is every species, I shot back. Power doesn't decide who we are. Choice does. The chains loosened slightly. Lyrie stepped toward me, but the ground cracked between us, revealing a void of seething plasma. To free me, she said softly, you must be willing to share the burden. What burden? My power. The price of salvation. The void roared. If I release you, I said, the coalition that imprisoned you, they'll come. Yes. And you could reshape stars. Yes. And you're asking me to trust you with that? She met my eyes. No. I'm asking you to stand with me so I don't stand alone. The lattice pulsed violently. It wasn't testing her. It was testing me. I thought about Earth, about humanity's history of fear, about the times we chose destruction over understanding. And then I thought about this being imprisoned for millennia because others were afraid. I won't let fear make this decision, I said. I stepped into the void. Agony exploded through me. Not physical pain, something deeper. My thoughts shattered and reassembled. I felt gravity bend, stars breathe, the fabric of space ripple. Lyrie screamed, not in pain, but in resonance. Light surged from her body into mine, and from mine back into hers. The chain shattered. Collapse. Reality snapped back. I was floating in the cargo bay, the radiation alarms blaring. The lattice sphere fractured into harmless photons. Lyrie hovered before me, free. The Varelians stared in stunned silence. Her glow had changed. It was softer now, threaded with something new, something human. You're not as bright, I said weakly through the calm. She smiled. Neither are you. I realized I could feel it, like an echo in my mind. A faint awareness of gravitational tides outside the ship. What did we do? I whispered. We balanced, she said. The lattice required unpredictability.
You gave it that.
In return, I shared only what you could survive. The star outside the viewport convulsed. Alarms shifted tone. Gravitational instability increasing, a Varelian shouted. Lyrie turned toward the viewport. The star is collapsing prematurely. The mining destabilized its outer layers. Sareth stiffened. We must evacuate immediately. Lyrie looked at me. This is why my kind existed. I nodded. Then let's save it. Standing between life and death. We moved to the observation deck. The red giant surface had begun to implode, pulling its corona inward in catastrophic waves. Distance insufficient for safe intervention, Sareth warned. Lyrie reached for my hand. Anchor me, she said.
How?
Remember the void. Remember standing with me. I closed my eyes and felt the faint gravitational awareness inside me. It was overwhelming, but guided by her presence. Together, we reached outward. Space folded like silk between our fingers. The star's core trembled, and then stabilized, its implosion slowing. I saw the fusion layers recalibrate, pressure redistributing in delicate equilibrium. It wasn't domination. It was adjustment. Minutes stretched like lifetimes. And then, the star settled. Not dying. Not collapsing. Alive. The ship fell silent. Sareth stared at us with something I'd never seen in a Varelian before. Reverence. The choice to stay. Later, in the quiet of the observation deck, Lyrie stood beside me, watching the now stable star burn with renewed brilliance. They will come, she said softly. The coalition monitors stellar anomalies. I figured. You could return to Earth. Forget this. I laughed faintly. I can feel gravity shifting in my bones. I don't think I'm going back to normal. She studied me. I never wanted to be worshipped, she said. Only understood. You hid your power once, I replied. What will you do now? She looked at the star. I will walk among mortals again. Learn. Help quietly. I raised an eyebrow. And if they try to cage you? She turned to me, golden eyes steady. Will you stand between me and them? I didn't hesitate. Every time. The ending. Weeks later, the Ardent Dawn docked at a neutral trade station. News had already spread of the stabilized star, whispers of impossible intervention. Lyrie stood in simple clothing now, her glow dimmed to a soft shimmer only visible in darkness. To most, she looked almost human. Almost. Sareth approached us one final time. You have altered the balance of power in this region, he said. Good, I replied. He inclined his head slightly to Lyrie. You were misjudged. Yes, she said gently. But fear is easier than trust. As we stepped off the ship together, I felt the faint hum of distant stars in my mind. Not control. Connection. She was trapped, I murmured. Lyrie looked at me. And you were the only human who could save her. I smiled. Guess humanity's unpredictability finally paid off. She slipped her hand into mine. Above us, through the station's vast, transparent dome, the rescued star burned brighter than ever, no longer a symbol of destruction, but of balance. And somewhere beyond the edges of known space, powerful civilizations recalculated their assumptions. Because this time, if they came for her, she wouldn't stand alone. And neither would I.